Mr. Lacey, let me go ahead and make you aware of a couple things. When you laminate state paperwork and city paperwork, it voids them.
It do?
It does.
Well, I got the receipt that I did at FedEx, so they
Really
could have told me that.
You're laminated now, so your permit is void. You need to go get you another permit.
All right.
You need to go get you another state ID.
So you finna take my ID,
I'm
sir?
not taking anything. I'm gonna hand them back to you.
Thank you.
I'm giving you some information.
Yes, sir.
And there again, you're gonna need to tone down your aggressiveness a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Because therefore,
I'm just putting my paperwork
I'm not gonna
back.
be so inclined to be so respectful
Yes, sir.
next time.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is your formal complaint, sir?
Man, this guy over here just basically disrespected me, man. I ain't done nothing wrong to him or anybody. I'm just sitting up here doing what I normally do.
How old are you, Mr.
I'm
Ritchie?
26 years old, officer.
So, what was the disrespect?
Because he basically telling me to go off, like I'm a little kid or something.
What are you telling them?
I'm not telling him anything. I say, okay, sir, if these is your people, that's it.
Was he one of us?
No, sir.
Was he just a civilian guy like you?
Yes, sir.
Then his opinion doesn't matter much, does it?
No, sir.
Okay, so take this with a grain of salt. Just look at me.
Yes, sir.
Basically, what you did was you ran and told mama.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all
Big
right.
brother.
I'm just making sure I
Big
got
brother.
it. Okay, all right.
Big brothers.
So
The cameras and everything.
It makes absolutely not a shit of difference that I can do anything about it. Because he hadn't done anything illegal. You ain't done anything illegal. But
I just want to tell y'all,
you
just
went
in
and
case he
told it on
come.
it. All right,
Just in
cool.
case
Here
he
you go.
come. Just in case he comes. Oh, this guy is sitting here harassing people. This is my literature right here, sir.
What's in it?
It's talking about how we divided as a race of people.
As
That's
far
it.
as white and blacks, or just blacks in general?
I'm just saying Americans, all American people.
Can I have one?
No, they not free.
They're not free, so you're trying to sell it.
But you can look at two of them. You can look at. I'm not selling
You're
them.
going on
I'm
the fact
giving
that
them out.
we're
I'm
divided
giving
as
them
a
out.
human race.
No, we
Not
going.
as-
Americans are divided.
Absolutely, I agree with
Americans.
that.
You know why they're divided?
I don't.
Because you got people that are so prejudiced that sitting up here milking their minds about a racist war that don't even exist. So when people come out here, they don't even feel comfortable around other groups of people because of
agree
what the
with that.
media said, and the media ain't doing nothing but washing and brainwashing people
I agree
such
with
as
that.
us, so they can make money off our ignorance.
I agree with
And
that.
that's why I'm so frustrated, because I want to be able to sit here and talk to you guys with respect and tell y'all what's going on.
Okay, let me give you a little. Let me give you a little. Just a tidbit, maybe just some knowledge. Okay.
Please inform me.
First of all, I agree with everything you said. I
Please.
absolutely agree with it.
We need
I
open
mean,
communication.
Eccles and I have talked about that in detail.
Right.
Maybe not what's written down in your book, but very similar along the same lines. Okay. Second of all, if you want to get your message out, speak softly. Make people strain to listen to hear what you're saying. If you come across aggressive, if you come across like an asshole, if you come across angry and militant, you're only going to reach the angry and militant people, and that's not going to do your cause any good.
You're right.
Okay? Now, the next question I have, are you selling these books?
No.
So they're not free, you said. What do you have to do for them?
Well, people just got to give what they can, whether it's conversation, whether it can be service or donation, whether it's monetarily. Because with the minimum activity license, as long as you ain't making over $10,000, no more than $3,000, taxes are exempt.
Right, it's actually
If they don't make a
$600.
donation, they don't get a book.
Huh? They
don't
do
make
get a
it.
book.
You're gonna give them a book if they don't make a donation?
I mean, it just depends on the person.
So he gives the book who he wants to, is what he's saying.
No, it just depends on the person. Because some people,
Well, no, I'm just getting down to the basics. It's cut and dry. If you like the person enough to give him a book, you're gonna give them a book.
Right.
If
Whether
you
they
don't like
white,
the
black.
person, I'm not even talking about race. But if you don't like the if you don't like the person, you don't have a good feeling about them, they don't get shit. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay.
Now, sometimes I give them the book and they throw it right in the trash in my face.
Well,
and I go right in the trash and dig it out.
Dig it right back out and put it right back in your stack and give it to somebody else. I
And
get
clean
I
it
would do
off
the
and
same
everything.
thing. Hell yeah. Because you spend time and
As an
effort
American
into
citizen, with the receipts to show for it.
Yes, as an American citizen, but that's really kind of irrelevant. You're an American citizen because you're in America. You were born here.
Right.
But the point is, you put time and effort into it. That's where your heart is. That's where your mind is. You want your message out. You don't want it in a trash can.
Hell no.
Okay. We're on the same page,
Hell no.
brother. We are on the same page.
And if I knew that you would have took the book and read it and honestly felt my struggle and where I was coming from legally, then I feel better to put it in your hands than to give it to any of these people's hands that I know is going to throw it right
if you
to.
give me a book.
But that's what I'm saying, though. I got
But
to.
you don't.
See,
you don't have that feeling, and that's fine.
Don't
give me a book. It's
I might
okay.
walk up to you without you expecting, like, here you go, sir. I just want to give it to you single-handedly as a citizen.
And I would sit down and I would read it. And I'm not going to promise that I'm not going to think it's a bunch of hogwash.
Because it's not.
I'm not saying it's not. But I'm just saying, after I read it, that's when I'm going to make my determination. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't know what you've written in that book.
You're right.
It might be complete and total bullshit. It might be the best thing that I've ever read in my life.
You're
you
right.
See what I'm saying? Until I read it, how the hell am I supposed to know?
I got a website too, blackliberators.com.
Okay. But see, I'm that guy. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I think it is. That doesn't mean that's how it is. It just means how I think it is.
So why don't you read the introduction here? Right here. Okay. Why don't you read the introduction here?
Where is it, on the back?
It's on the front.
It's on the front.
Whoa.
That's really little writing. That's some really little writing. You're gonna have to give me a minute because I gotta focus.
You gotta go find a magnifying.
Like a code in scripture or something.
So how long you been doing this?
Man, I've been doing this forever. Before I even came to Memphis. This is my life's work. I'm from St. Louis.
St. Louis?
This is my life's work. I never broke the law. Had no felonies, no warrants.
I'm not saying y'all.
I study the whole environment. What can I do? What can I not do?
Yeah.
How long can I do it? Whether it's from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, or whether it's from 10 p.m. at night to 6 a.m. in the morning. Everything with me is laws. My family is
every law, everybody has different
from the
laws.
ROTC all the way down to the Army. I got uncles in it and everything. And when I approach the police, I make sure that my hands are visible. Yeah. I'm not digging in on my pants. If I have a weapon on, I let them know I got a weapon, everything.
Okay, I've read half of this, half of the introduction, and I'm going to be honest with you, completely honest with you. There are a lot of things in here that I've heard the media say.
And it's not plagiarism.
I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying it's very similar, but it is the same hogwash and bullshit that the media's put out, brainwashing the black race. Because the people that you mentioned in here, as far as Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Walter Scott, Freddie Gray, one thing that is very consistent with every last one of those cases is they would probably still be alive if they hadn't have fought the police.
Well,
and wait a minute, time out. You put, and I don't care whether it's the police or a regular man, you put him in jeopardy of his life, he's going to pull that weapon, and he's going to defend himself. That's the common denominator right there. And if they hadn't have turned around and fought Michael Brown, for example, he was a suspect in a strong arm robbery, and then he turned around and punched a policeman dead in the face while he was still sitting in the squad car. Nobody wants to mention that. So I will hand this back to you at this point. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to respect you as far as that goes. But no, I don't necessarily have the same outlook as you do. For the simple fact that people right now do not determine their actions from the consequences that the action produces. Everything you do has a consequence, whether it's a good consequence or a bad consequence. So if you do good things, you're going to have the consequences of good things happen to you. If you do bad things, you're going to have the consequences of bad things happen to you. If you're doing bad things like fighting the police, and never mind that I'm the police for a second, okay? But
yes, sir.
If as a man, if you fight me, I'm gonna kick your ass.
But I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight you.
I don't mean you. I mean in general. That's anybody. Okay? So why? Just because I put on a uniform, is that going to be any different?
No, it's not no different from any situation.
But we're held to a higher standard, as we should be, because we're law enforcement. We've taken that up.
To protect and serve.
That's absolutely right. So in the case of Michael Brown especially, that officer was protecting that community who completely turned their back against him.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing,
and it was all perpetuated in a lie.
If you kick their ass, I guarantee you, one person gonna pull out their camera, and whether you was right, the media gonna destroy your character.
You're absolutely right.
And that's what I'm looking at. That's the whole thing from the whole Mike Brown situation. That's what I was looking at. Whether Darren Wilson was right or wrong.
Go back to Michael Brown for a second. Case in point of what you're saying. His buddy said Michael Brown's hands were up. His hands were never up. Michael Brown was charging him. That's the reason why he got a bullet in the top of the head. And that's the reason why bullets went through here, not through here.
Right.
Okay? That officer did not shoot him because his hands were up. That officer shot him because he had already had the piss beat out of him by the 6'6", 18-year-old man. He was not a boy. He was not a kid.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
He had the piss beat out of him, and he was in fear of his life because that motherfucker turned around and was coming back for more. So the officer that shot him was my size, maybe even your size. He was not a big guy.
Right.
So he did what he had to do so he could go home to his family, and it destroyed his family's lives. And it wasn't because of his actions, it was because of the media's actions and the propaganda put forth by the media, perpetuated from the lie of Michael Brown's friend.
Yeah.
That's why I don't believe none of that shit. There it is.
But it's one thing that we can agree on.
Okay.
Before I go off to my life, that the media was the problem, was part of the problem. It's part of the problem. The media was part of the problem.
We will agree on that all day long. And I don't think the media is just part of the problem. I think the media drives the problem to raise their ratings.